Hey guys, we've got our real estate market update for September 2023 and some design tips as we enter the darker season. So let's talk about the market for starters. If you've watched any of our past market updates this year, there's a lot of things that are repeating. More so the number of transactions that are happening, the number of listings on the market, and the number of sales on the market are below the 10-year average. And that's been consistent throughout the whole year, mostly due to the high interest rates, or higher interest rates, I should say. So glancing at the stats really quick here, just to give you some numbers, the total number of sales that happened in September compared to September 2022 were 26% below the 10-year average, whereas the total number of homes listed on the MLS were 6% below the 10-year average. So again, we're just not seeing as many transactions. Most people that are making a move right now are doing so just due to life circumstances. Whereas in the past, or in a more balanced market, sometimes people just move because they want to, not because they have to. So interest rates is, of course, what everybody is talking about.
Yeah, of course. The level of affordability has drastically gone down for a majority of households. So everyone's starting to think of plan A, B, and C, right? So detached houses, I feel like buyers have sort of taken their foot off the gas pedal a little bit looking at the stats this month. Attached properties is still higher, like in a seller's market, rather than a balanced, like the detached, just because, again, the level of affordability, interest rates are a lot higher than what we've seen in, gosh, and even our careers, Glenn, right? So,
Right.
so we're just seeing a transition happening right now, and that's what's going to happen in probably the next year. So we're going to see this transition of how people are going to live and make moves, right? Based on their means. And people, as you said, always do have to move. Life circumstances, people move on with their lives. So there's always going to be transactions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think one thing, what's been interesting this year is that for sure, when the rates started going up in 2022, then, people put their plans on hold to see how high they were going to go. And prices, as a result, came down quite a bit. It seems like the areas that they went up the most coming out of the lockdown, they went down the most. And then this year started off slow, as it always does. December and January aren't the busiest month. People are kind of figuring out what they're going to do and that sort of thing. But then prices started going back up again. And, for the most part, I wouldn't say we're where the prices are back at the peak yet. But they're pretty close in some property types in some neighborhoods, right? So despite the interest rates, people are still making these moves, right? So I think that's going to continue on. And I think where a lot of homeowners right now are concerned are those ones where their mortgages are coming up, their terms are coming up, and depending on where they were before, they could be facing a pretty significant increase in payment. And I think to those people and some mortgage brokers that I've spoken with, it's easy to just re-up with your bank, right? Just continue on with them, because you don't need to requalify or anything like that. But see what your bank is offering you, whoever your mortgage is with, see what they're offering you.
Yeah, of course.
Then take it to a mortgage broker and just see what your options are, from refinancing or cashing out some investments, refinance, put more money down, lower the payment, increase the amortization. So just have those conversations. I'd say anybody that's at least 6 months out from their term expiring, you might want to start having some of those conversations.
Yeah. And just, I think the biggest thing is what I'm sort of saying to everybody is like, guys, we're going to go through a year of this. It's going to be a tough year for some people. So remember, you can handle a year. So, or a year-ish, right? We're already been in it for quite some time, but just, I would say don't panic, look at your options. I read an article the other day that said 2% of mortgages are up for refinance. So 2% is not that much.
No.
Based in the whole grand scheme, because like if we could have a frequently asked questions section of this video, it would be like, what are interest rates going to do? Is there going to be good deals coming down the pipeline? Is it a good time to buy? These are the three questions that we're sort of listening to and trying to answer the best to our ability over the past how many months. But I would say that's a great piece of advice. Have a plan in action. Make sure that you can cut down on where you can to make yourself feel comfortable. And hopefully the bank this is, the last hike that we will see, or we will see that 7.2. So just be prepared for that. It's about a 50-50 chance for October 25th as of right now.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I think that sort of sums up the market. Obviously, we don't really know exactly where the market's headed, but like you said, it's probably going to be very much like this for the next little while, certainly into 2024, and then we'll see what the spring brings, and we'll see where rates are and that sort of thing. Rates are important. Purchase price is equally as important too. So,
Yeah.
if you're out there and you're thinking about making that move, just look at what the payment's going to be, because rates will come down and values will go up and that sort of thing.
Of course.
Real estate, it's a long-term investment. So certainly if you're out there and you're considering making a move, reach out to us, because everything we've talked about is just generally what's going on in the market, but how your neighborhood property type and price point is performing, it could be performing quite differently than just this generalization.
It could be,
so
definitely.
Always get specific information to your local market, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about design, Brittany?
Yes. Let's get into a little bit of the coziness factor that we're hopefully going to experience soon, aside from this 24-degree weather that we're going to have this weekend.
Exactly. So if you're not moving, and days are getting shorter and darkness is getting longer. So given your design background, I don't know if you want to shine some light on that, but what are you suggesting that people do to make their home feel a little more cozy?
Well, aside from my design background, I felt like I went to school for it, but now it's become a little bit more of a hobby, less of a job, right? So, and obviously you and I do design practices every day, helping clients and so forth. So what I would highly suggest is that we sort of get into these months and all of a sudden we saw those colors that we've brought in are darker, and we've closed in spaces a little bit more because we have a lot more natural brightness. And I feel like for winter and fall, you sort of have to go the opposite factor. You have to bring in the light a little bit more. Unless you have vaulted ceilings and you have so much light, it doesn't matter. Really bring in the coziness. So bring in those textiles that are, the comfort, the wools, sort of that more shaggier carpet that's light and bright. If you can get away with doing dark colors, do a dark color if you have tons of natural light, but bring in some greenery. Plants are really going to be a big thing, especially during these months as well, too, when we're not outside experiencing the outdoors as much as we do in the summer months. The foliage is an important factor of bringing it into our space, of feeling that, you do kind of feel a warmth from that greenery. So my suggestion would be just keep it simple. Yeah.
Okay. I like those. Those are great tips. I don't have much to add to that. Brittany, I mean, you're the design person. Like,
I don't know. I like my sweaters. I love seasons. I love fall, not because it's my birthday month, but, I do enjoy bringing in the coziness in. So yeah, bring in the cozy, the blankets, all of those things that make you feel great.
Yeah. And just so for those watching, this is exactly what it's like when Brittany and I go and meet some sellers who are thinking about listing, and they're asking, well, what do we need to do this place? She talks and I just
well, I mostly talk the most anyways, regardless if it's design tips anyways.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, I think that wraps it up, unless there's anything else you'd like to add.
No, just everybody have a good October, and let's see what this next month brings us.
Yep, good October and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Okay, we'll see you.